Hi, Kings Mountain. We're here again with updates with the city manager. And I'm going to just pause briefly with that because that's the last time you'll hear me say that. If you haven't heard at this point in time, we're not only coming to the conclusion of a year here on December 30th, but I am also coming to the conclusion of the 2-year contract as city manager for the city of Kings Mountain. The city council has made a determination that now concluding my 2-year contract tenure, that they have decided to go in a new direction. And that's great. That's fine. Obviously, that is what local government and the council manager forum allows to happen. And that is we elect folks, we hold them accountable, and they make determinations on what they believe will be in the best long-term interest of the community. And sometimes that may mean making changes in leadership. And that's the decision that has been made. So, with that, I just wanted to say a very big collective thank you to the entire Kings Mountain community, to all the wonderful people that I've had a chance to work with, to work for, to be given this chance to work at being a leader for this community. It has been a true humbling experience. It has been both my privilege and my honor to serve in this position. I have never taken it lightly. And it has always been something of great seriousness and things that we work very, very hard. Because as we make decisions in this position, it has always been about that which is in the best long-term interest of the citizens of this community. And I think empathy is important, to always think about who it is that you're working to try to help, to serve, and it's about service. And I think it's always been with an eye toward integrity, with ethics, with the belief that it has to always be in the long-term best interest of the greatest number of people, of citizens of this community. It cannot be about the power or money or influence of the select few. And too often I think those come into play when we talk about making decisions, and I'm very proud of the fact that for the entire 2 years that I've been here and the organization that I've led, we have made decisions, we've given advice, we've worked on things that were about that which we felt and continue to feel would serve and be in the long-term best interest of the community. And proud of that, feel we've done a great job. And obviously time will ultimately tell. But again, big collective thank you to the organization, to the great people I've had a chance to work with, to the community itself, to the wonderful people I've had a chance to meet here, to work for, to listen to. We've had plenty of challenges. We've taken them on head on. Sometimes we've succeeded, sometimes not so much, sometimes only the future will tell. So I want to wish the community the very, very best of luck. I think a lot of things are going in the right direction. Hopefully that direction will be continued. At the same time, I want to look forward. I want to help you a little bit here look forward. And that is, it's December 30th. 2025 is coming upon us very, very soon. And look forward to some good things happening in this year, in 2025. And I just want to remind you of some of those things. Streetscape. It's not over, folks. It's coming. Railroad Street will be done in 2025. The money is in place. The design is being completed. The work should be bid out relatively soon. And you can watch throughout the spring and the summer, and that should get done. And that should be exciting. The same folks who are doing that design, Kimley Horn, they also are completing the design for all of the additional phases of Streetscape. So look forward to that as well. That's very important. Other projects, Davidson Park, significant major improvements to Davidson Park, well over $1 million in place, budgeted, ready to go. You'll see that work done. You'll see it done in 2025. There are opportunities for more grant monies there. Hopefully that adds to the money we've already put forward to it, but it's going to be important. Great improvements driven a lot by the city, by the community itself, by the neighborhoods, and you can look forward to that. Same thing with Tom's Park, also coming this year, spring and summer. Look for that. Very important, good stuff. City council chambers being completely redone It's almost fully complete. By the first meeting in January, that should be done. You'll see the fruits of those labors. You should be excited. I think people will enjoy it. Also, this next year, 2025, we're completing the design for significant improvements to the interior of City Hall. We'll add a lot in the way of additional space, office space, conference space, new opportunities for the organization. Expect that to be then budgeted in this next fiscal year and that work to move forward as well. Also want to mention some other things to be cognizant of and to care about in the relatively near term. I know a lot of folks worry about or think that maybe some of the relationships we've had could be improved upon, specifically with the county, with the Kataba tribe, with the Albemarle Corporation. Let me take those in turn. I think it is important, and hopefully that a good quality relationship can be maintained not only with Cleveland County, but with Gaston County as well. Don't forget that the city of Kings Mountain exists in both of those counties. I think the relationship with Gaston has been very good, continues to be very good. Work very closely with them on a lot of important economic development projects. The relationship with Cleveland County, a little bit more rocky. I think that is a measure of the city trying to make certain that it looks out for its best interests. And again, going back to the way we started this, the idea is always, as a city, while we can work with others, we have to know that we are employed by and work for and have to work with the mindset that we're doing what is in the best long-term interest of the folks who pay the taxes here, make the decisions here, and look out for this community. So with regard to a relationship with Cleveland County, keep in mind that it can and should be good, but it also cannot be a zero-sum game. It should not be the city loses at the benefit of the county or vice versa. Both sides should either win or both sides should share sacrifice. But I think too often and too much in the past, it has been one-sided and it has been a zero-sum game. So I advise the community, please keep that in mind. Do the things that will make certain that this community gets taken care of, gets looked out for, and that ultimately either wins or shares sacrifice in a manner that is fair and reasonable and in the best long-term interest of the community. With regard to the Kataba tribe and the new casino, the resort, the development around Exit 5, I think huge, important project to the city. I think the relationship right now with the Kataba tribe is very good. I think that very soon there will be a number of agreements fully completed and signed with the tribe in which the city will be providing almost every utility, in some cases on a less of a permanent basis, a shorter term basis, others permanently, in ways that will serve very much the tribe, will be beneficial and economic to the tribe, but will also be very beneficial to the city as well. And I think look for those things, and I just appreciate the relationship with the tribe. A lot of really good folks there. We've had some difficult negotiations along the way, but again, it was always in the party's best interest on both sides, and it was very candid, it was very transparent, and ultimately those kinds of discussions, those kinds of negotiations will usually result in good quality outcomes, and both sides will be well served, and I think that's what you see there. Finally, the relationship with Albemarle, very important to the future if in fact the lithium mine is brought back into operation, begins to operate in the future. Understand that the city now, for the better part of a year and a half, has negotiated with Albemarle toward developing a very comprehensive development agreement that would cover all aspects of bringing the mine back into operation. And there are some good things about that for the region and maybe for the community, but only if the right things are negotiated in that development agreement. And the reason we've been at it for a year and a half, and the reason that it has been difficult and that it is not done yet, is because, again, looking out for the best interest of the community. And what does it mean to do that? Number one, to put in effect a new zoning district in which the only place that mining would be allowed, specifically lithium mining, would be in a mineral extraction district. And that district would have some very, very distinct, comprehensive, and complete requirements when it comes to things like noise and traffic and light and pollution and protection of the environment and protection from the negative things that might be associated with a large open pit mine. That's critical. The other thing that is more important than anything else is to recognize the fact that this is not a positive to the community in most ways. It is largely negative except for some of the economics that come from it in terms of jobs. But much like locating a very large landfill in a community, it can be beneficial to the larger region, but very negative to the host community. And you have to look at that in this way, that the greater region, the country as a whole, benefits dramatically by having a North American, a U.S. source of high-quality lithium that can be used in the EV industry in the future. However, the host community, the city of Kings Mountain, will ultimately suffer a lot of the negativity. In order to make up for that, it is critical that appropriate economic mitigation fees are paid by Albemarle to the city. That is critical. I suggest to the city in the future, make certain that if nothing else happens, that when you negotiate that final development agreement, that very significant economic mitigation fees paid on a recurring basis as long as mining occurs and as long as metric tons of spodumene concentrate leave that facility, that the city of Kings Mountain gets an appropriate and fair piece of that, not to take away from the ability to be profitable, but to make certain that in the making of that profit for this large international corporation, the place that takes the negative impact of it, the city of Kings Mountain, gets some of the benefit in an appropriate means and an appropriate measure to equal the negative that comes its way. So, again, these are the kinds of things that I would suggest is very important to the long-term sustainability of the community, financial sustainability. We have tried very hard to say that reinvesting in the city's infrastructure is critical to success. That's reinvesting in utilities, underground utilities, above-ground utilities, the parks, recreational facilities, cultural facilities, the library, the senior center, opportunities that will and can make this community an attractive place to live, to work, to play, and ultimately where people want to be and where the economy will thrive. And I think it is hard to do that sometimes, to recognize that it is a constant slog. It is a constant effort to say, this costs money, it's hard, but it ultimately will pay off in the future. You can't neglect those things, just like your car or your home. Whether it's preventative maintenance, it's the same way for governmental buildings, for parks, for stormwater systems, for utility systems, and for everything that the city relies upon to be a successful, vibrant, long-term community that people want to be in, that want to people live in, and ultimately that people want to come to. So, nobody does this quickly. The answer doesn't happen overnight. It's sticking with a plan over a long period of time and not varying from the plan, not dropping the plan when it becomes hard or when you don't feel you can afford it. So I think something to keep in mind, but also just wanted to say, again, since this is my last opportunity to be in front of you as your city manager, that it has been a humbling experience. It has been one in which I have greatly enjoyed. It has been an honor. It has been a privilege, and I don't take that lightly. And I appreciate every day that I had the opportunity, and I appreciate having had the chance to be employed here, to make a living here, and hopefully we did just a little bit of good when it comes to setting the stage for making the community a little bit better in the future. and to recognize the fact that transparency is very important, that there is no better disinfectant than sunshine, and keep the sun shining, keep the transparency coming. And again, Kings Mountain, it has been my honor, my privilege, and I thank you so very much, and I wish you a very happy, healthy, successful 2025 and beyond. This has been Jim Palahniuk, signing out for the last time as your city manager.